The fall of a nation, Venezuela's journey toward communism. Can you imagine living in a place where money loses so much value that it's used as toilet paper, or where entire families search for food scraps in the trash? This is the reality for many Venezuelans today, in a country that was once considered an economic and cultural powerhouse, but has fallen into one of the most devastating humanitarian crises on the planet. Meanwhile, Venezuela continues to stand out on the international stage, especially in beauty pageants, where its women are recognized as the most beautiful in the world. But the story that few know goes much deeper, revealing a harsh reality that most prefer to ignore. Before we begin, remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our publications. Without further ado, let's get started. Located in northern South America and bordered by the Caribbean Sea, Venezuela enjoys a privileged geographical position. It shares borders with Brazil, Colombia, and Guyana, and is blessed with beautiful beaches and a tropical climate for most of the year. These natural features are just a part of what makes this country so unique. Venezuelan women are known worldwide for their beauty and elegance, making Venezuela a true powerhouse in beauty pageants, especially Miss Universe. The country has won numerous titles, and to this day remains among the favorites in the event. This success is the result of immense dedication as the candidates begin preparing from a very young age, attending specialized schools that teach everything from posture and public speaking to personal care, always with a focus on self-confidence, discipline, and determination. But this image of glamour and sophistication hides a much more complex reality. Venezuela used to be one of the most promising economies in the world. For much of the 20th century, the country experienced impressive prosperity, driven by oil exploitation. With vast oil reserves, Venezuela became one of the world's largest exporters, and in the 1950s, its GDP per capita was among the 10 highest on the planet, surpassing even countries like Germany, Japan, and Spain. Cities like Caracas and Maracaibo grew rapidly, receiving modern infrastructure, skyscrapers, and state-of-the-art transportation systems. During this golden age, the Venezuelan middle class experienced a period of great ascent, with access to healthcare, education, and goods that were scarce in many other Latin American countries. With the rise to power of Hugo Chávez in 1999, Venezuela began to change. He implemented the so-called Bolivarian revolution, with socialist policies focused on redistributing wealth from oil. Initially, social programs brought benefits to the poorest, but the almost total dependence on oil proved to be an unsustainable strategy in the long term. The lack of economic diversification left the country vulnerable to fluctuations in oil prices. Under Chávez's government, strategic sectors such as oil, electricity, and telecommunications were nationalized, but mismanagement, corruption, and lack of investment led to a decline in production and essential services. Oil production, once a symbol of prosperity, began to fall, and price and currency controls created deep economic distortions. Many essential products disappeared from shelves, while the black market expanded rapidly. After Chávez's death in 2013, Nicolás Maduro assumed the presidency and inherited a weakened economy. The situation worsened drastically, with the fall in oil prices and the lack of financial reserves, resulting in catastrophic hyperinflation. The national currency rapidly lost its value, making it almost impossible for the population to access essential goods. Lines to buy food and medicine became part of everyday life, while the government downplayed the severity of the crisis. In addition to economic problems, Maduro's government was also marked by political repression, with arbitrary arrests, media censorship, and the closure of democratic spaces. Protests against the government were met with excessive force, resulting in deaths and dozens of detainees. This repression, coupled with growing misery, caused millions of Venezuelans to flee the country in search of a more dignified life. Today, the reality for Venezuelans is marked by unimaginable challenges. Daily life has become a constant struggle for survival, where getting basic items like bread, rice, or medicine is almost an impossible mission. Markets have empty shelves, and endless lines are a constant. Hunger has spread, and many families have to scavenge for food scraps in the garbage. People try to make do with what little they have, often improvising to put something on the table, while others go days without knowing when they will have their next meal. The country, once synonymous with prosperity, has become a symbol of resilience and suffering. Venezuela is facing a profound crisis that affects all generations, leaving a trail of despair and pain in every corner of the country. Children are malnourished, and many elderly people have been abandoned by the healthcare system, left to fend for themselves. In hospitals, the reality is no different. Essential medicines are lacking, and vital life-saving equipment is an inaccessible luxury. Patients wait for hours, even days in long lines, with no guarantee of care, while doctors and nurses struggle with a shortage of resources to do what they can. What was once treatable has become fatal due to the lack of medicine and basic infrastructure. Money, which once had value, is now used in unthinkable ways. Banknotes have become substitutes for toilet paper, as they are cheaper than buying regular paper on the market. In addition, the lack of drinking water has further aggravated the situation. Constant interruptions in supply force many families to resort to makeshift wells or rainwater to meet their most basic needs. The sanitation system and basic infrastructure have collapsed, and the country is experiencing a reality where survival has become a daily and relentless effort. In the streets, violence and insecurity have taken over. In many cities, armed gangs rule the areas, setting their own rules. They decide who can or cannot enter certain neighborhoods and dictate the daily lives of the entire community. To live under this rule is to live in a constant state of alert, never knowing when violence might occur. The country ranks among the highest in the world for homicides, with crimes occurring even in broad daylight. Life on the streets has become a constant tension, and the fear of leaving home is a reality for many people who only venture out to meet their basic needs. Express kidnapping has become a common practice, and it doesn't matter what social class you belong to, anyone can be a victim. It is enough to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Victims are kidnapped quickly, and their families have to negotiate with the kidnappers to ensure their return. In many cases, the fear of reporting means that criminals go unpunished, perpetuating the cycle of violence. Unemployment and the lack of decent wages affect millions of people. Work, for many, has become a matter of emotional survival, as wages are so low that they do not cover basic expenses. Many workers, even with long hours, face precarious conditions and know that their efforts are not rewarded. The minimum wage is practically symbolic, making the choice between buying food or medicine a daily struggle. Many choose to take their chances in the informal market or even emigrate to try for a new opportunity, but even highly qualified professionals, such as doctors and engineers, face the same reality of unfair wages and lack of resources. The official currency has lost so much value that, in some regions, gold has become the currency of exchange. Small pieces of gold are used instead of bolívares, being exchanged for food, clothing, and basic necessities. This has become common practice in areas far from big cities, where the exchange of gold adjusts to the fluctuations of the black market. The economic system no longer works, and the population resorts to whatever it can to survive. The impact of the crisis has also generated a massive migration, with more than 7 million Venezuelans having left the country in the last 10 years, representing about a quarter of the population. Countries like Colombia, Brazil, Peru, and Ecuador have become common destinations, but the journeys are arduous. Many families travel on foot, crossing mountains and forests with few possessions, in search of a better future. Children are forced to adapt to new cultures and languages, while their parents try to integrate, holding on to the hope of a new beginning. Inside prisons, the reality is even more surreal. Known as prains, criminal leaders have taken control of prisons, turning them into fortresses. These prains rule with an iron fist, dictating rules, organizing lavish parties, and even holding championships and shows. They maintain arsenals of weapons and control the internal resources of prisons, while the authorities stand by, often complicit or afraid. The penitentiary system, which should punish and rehabilitate, has been transformed into a base of operations for organized crime, reflecting the total collapse of state control. Despite all this tragedy, Venezuela still has paradisiacal destinations that captivate any visitor. Among them, Cayo de Agua stands out, a hidden island in the Los Roques archipelago, known for its crystal-clear waters and white sand beaches that seem like something out of a dream. Angel Falls, the highest waterfall in the world, located in Canaima National Park, offers a breathtaking view, surrounded by mountains and forests that seem from another planet. The island of Madre de Dios, also in Los Roques, captivates with its calm waters, ideal for swimming and snorkeling. And for those looking for something more exotic, Cot Beach is famous for its ideal winds for water sports. Finally, the Manora salt flats in the state of Zulia reveal a unique landscape with reddish lakes and mountains of salt that sparkle under the sun, proving that despite everything, the beauty of Venezuela remains intact. If you liked today's video, please support us by liking and subscribing to the Hidden Truths channel. Your support is what keeps us going. Don't forget to check out the video that appears on the screen right now. I'm sure you'll find it fascinating. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.